Hey guys, welcome to Video Game Corner. It's me, Jason. And today I want to talk about an issue that I recently discovered by accident. And it kind of blew me away. And what I was doing is I was watching a 8-Bit Eric video, and he's doing an interview. He and the Game Chasers are doing an interview with Walter Day. Now, if you don't know who Walter Day is, you should, because he's part of video game history, a big part. And the thing about Walter Day is he had an arcade in the early 80s called Twin Galaxies. And what he did is he started this whole thing where he became the official record holder, record keeper of video games. And it's pretty interesting because you had all these guys from around the world. He had them come in with their games, like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and all these different games of the time. And he had all the people that were the best. They went and searched and found the best players in the United States and brought them to Twin Galaxies Arcade, and they put all the machines out on the street, and they took this picture for Life magazine. It was pretty big deal back at the time. And this was just before the video game crash of the early 80s. I think it was 83. And it was huge, because back then, some of you younger gamers don't know, because it's not the same today. But back then, in those days, in arcades, you would go to the arcade with your buddies, and you guys would play against each other, and you guys would try to do, see who could be the king, basically, who could be the best. And I remember after school, going to a pizza place next to the comic book shop that I used to hang out at, and I go there, and you would get like a slice of pizza, or and a soda, or a sandwich or something after school, and you would sit there. I remember they had a Mortal Kombat machine, and it was so cool because everybody would sit there, and that's where I learned how to play Mortal Kombat 1, and it was so cool because it was so different at the time. This was in the early 90s. And that's what we did back then. But nowadays it's not. You don't see arcades as much. It's one of those things that I think we should really go back to and have more arcades. And I think places like Dave and Buster's, or even should be more of a. We should have more places like that. I mean, they don't even have to be Dave and Buster, just mom and pop places, just with arcades. And you see them in pizza places and stuff like here in Porterville, but it's not the same like it was. I just wish it was. But console gaming and PC gaming have taken over so much that people would rather just sit at home and play. And that's fine too. I love playing on my consoles. But here's the thing, Walter Day, he was talking about how we're all like pieces to the video game history. And so I want to show you this clip, and I got permission from 8-Bit Eric to view it. And I'm going to put a link in the description of the entire interview so you guys can go watch it. But anyway, let's take a look at that.
Well, here's what I have to say to you guys are you from Dallas or San Antonio?
We are. We're from
Dallas,
San Antonio.
So if you're going to put it on an event, I think that's very cool, because you realize that what you're doing is you're becoming lightning rods to draw the culture to you, support the culture, and help the culture grow into whatever it's supposed to grow into. Because there's a lot of people out there who would like to devote their time. A lot of important people have important stories to tell, and you're going to allow them to come into the limelight and be honored for their contributions, honored if they're great gamers, honored if they're great organizers.
CGE goers,
so
this is Emily from the Intellivision booth, and we'd like to invite you to our 1982 themed booth.
It's preserving the culture and gaming history. I noticed you had these trading cards, the Twin Galaxy trading cards. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, a lot of these trading cards, they honor the important historical icons who pioneered the industry, video game personalities, important historical events, and also world champions champions and anybody who's actually contributed to the history of the global video game culture and helped nourish it and make it grow and develop. For instance, the event you folks are thinking of doing down in Texas, we would put that on a trading card too, because we would consider that a historic event, because you're standing up and representing the whole culture and defining the culture through your event by you're planting your flag, you're making a historical event that'll bring out more knowledge, bring out more entertainment for everybody, and just be an important contribution to the history of our time. So it's worth honoring some event like yours with a trading card.
That's the thing behind it. I think what needs to be brought back is the passion that drives what gaming's all about. You know, back in the day, you know, people before us, they would play, like, for example, all the world records for Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and all that. It was a different era. Like, gamers, it was like a friendly competition, and there was just a passion, and everybody, like, it's not like that anymore. Games aren't really like, they're driving away from that. It's more like, ooh, I'm gonna go and shoot these guys in Call of Duty, and it doesn't seem fun to me. Like, I think it's neat to watch documentaries about, you know, the glory days of early gaming, and that's why I think it's cool with the trading cards and, you know, every documentary, King of Kong, for example, encyclopedias.
So I made this big display piece to really summarize what the trading cards are all about. Would you hold that side and hold this side? See, the Twin Galaxies trading card set has been created to commemorate the history of the worldwide video game industry, honoring the iconic industry pioneers, the world champions, the video game personalities, and the landmark milestones that have given shape to today's global video game culture. So, when you guys create an event, you are part of this historical process. You may not realize it because you're so busy having fun and just being yourselves and hanging out with your friends and doing something that brings out the knowledge and brings out the wisdom and brings the social energy together into a nice event. But actually you're doing something that will be studied and honored and revered by future generations who want to know how this all happened and study all the milestones, all the landmark events that led to the global video game culture becoming the huge thing that it clearly is going to become, like 50 years from now or 100 years from now. So you're part of that historical fabric. You may not realize that yet, but all your efforts are part of the historical fabric. You will be another thread in that big tapestry.
That's really deep. That's like different way if anybody's ever put it. That's actually really, really cool.
So be aware that you're doing something not just for yourself, but for helping the global video game culture move into the future, helping its whole tradition become more glorified and more glorified.
So yeah, that video was pretty cool. I think. I think his view on the history and us all playing a part of it. And I started thinking, here on YouTube, there's a lot of gaming channels. There's quite a few. We all know, you know, the AVGN started the whole angry reviewer thing, and he kind of, you know, was a pioneer in a lot of ways, and guys like Angry Joe who do it, and, you know, then we have some of the more, quieter, you know, happier reviewers, like we got Johnny Millennium, the Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, you know, we have the Game Chasers, guys like Game Chasers, 8-Bit Eric, who do their thing. There's so many. I mean, you could just sit here and list them all day long. And I think about it, and, you know, it's like, I know that, you know, I'm part of it too. And guys like my friend Robert Santellan, who has a channel, he's got a couple thousand subscribers, and he's, his channel's growing, and he does, you know, he's a piece of it. Everybody's a piece of it. Oh, here's the thing about Robert. You saw Walter Day, he was talking about the trading cards and stuff. Robert actually has a trading card that he is part of. And he has a record in, let's see, where is it? Okay. He set a world record on Donkey Kong Competition Pack. So, he says he has 3 world records under his belt, Twin Galaxy scoreboard. And his favorite game is Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation. And he wants to work on some more records with the Super Nintendo. But it's pretty cool, you know. Here's somebody who has his own trading card with Twin Galaxies. This is the 2013 set. He sent me this, and it's pretty cool because the other cool thing is he lives down in Fontana, which is where I grew up in Fontana as a kid. I lived in Fontana from like ages 2 to 10. Then I moved to Rialto, the next city over, till I was 16, and then I lived in Las Vegas until I was like, you know, till I got older. I spent like 15 years of my life in Las Vegas. Hate that town, by the way. It's one of those fun to visit, but you don't want to live there type of places. But I started thinking, I'm looking at, you know, all these people like Robert, people like myself, and you guys, the fans that come on here and support us. We're all like part of this, you know, we're all like pieces of it. We're all together. We're all linked. Even, you know, the trolls out there, they're part of us too. It's like the good, the bad, you know, we take the good, the bad, and the everything, all of the different parts, you know, all the different cogs in the machine. And we're all pieces of this video game experience, video game experiment. And, you know, Walter, he goes on to talk about the future of gaming, if you watch that whole interview, and how, you know, we're going to have more, he's going to, you know, we're going to have more physical games, and we're going to have more mental games where we can, you know, where you don't even have to use anything in our body, it just like links to our brain. And the future, it's going to be interesting. But we are all passing the torch. We're all needed, so we can move on to the next piece, to the next chapter of gaming. And it's funny because when I was a kid back in the 80s, and we were playing the Nintendo, and we used to think, after the Atari, we got the Nintendo, we're thinking, man, it can't get any better than this. And of course we know it did. But it's kind of funny because back then, everybody thought video games are just for kids. Or video games are just for like nerdy, geeky people. As you get older, if you were an older guy, you know, playing them, like computer games back then, or even just video games, everything, it was always frowned upon. And as nowadays, everybody plays. I saw some stuff on YouTube about gamers that are 70 years old, and they're playing Call of Duty. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. I would have picked a different game, but whatever. There's also this 98-year-old lady who's got a DS in I think England. And she's talking about her DS, how it helps keep her mind sharp, and she, you know, she plays it every day. And I was thinking, that is just so cool. I mean, and we're going to start seeing in the future, when I'm an old man, I'm 37, but you're talking 20, 30 years from now, when I'm getting old, I'll be still gaming, and guys in my age group now are going to still be gaming. And we're all going to be these old guys keeping up with the latest technology because it's just what we do now. And the generation that's younger than us and after, all the generations after, are going to be doing the same thing. So in 100 years, we're going to have gamers that are 80, 90 years old. And it's going to be so different than the way it is now. But it all started, 40 years ago. Around 40 years ago, it all started, and now we're still in the we're like in the not the infancy or the childhood. We're more like in the teenage years of gaming, and we're getting close to the young adult. We're, with the new consoles and everything coming out, the technology and all the new things. Because I think gaming now is going through a lot of growing pains. Because we got things like the Wii, and then the two main, the PlayStation and the Xbox, and everything is just. And then we have companies like Ouya doing these little independent things, and they're just trying to do new things. and it's really interesting. We're in a time where everybody's trying to do something, and then also we have like the Apple stuff, like the whatever. I don't even keep track, but the tablets and stuff, they do gaming. Gaming is coming here. We can play games on your phone, and it just blows my mind at how much it's grown over the years, and it's trying to find itself right now, and it's just pretty interesting. And we all of us older gamers, we complain things were so much better in this generation or that, and I'm guilty of that too. But I also look at the future, and it's like, let's see what happens. It's probably going to go through so many ups and downs before I die that I'm curious to see what system's going to be out just before I pass away. I mean, are they going to still be the big three that we have now, or is there going to be more that come along? Will Sega ever make another console? Will we ever see the Dreamcast 2? I hope so. I think the Dreamcast is cool. But maybe we'll see the Saturn 2. That'd be kind of cool. Just play with the names. I don't know, the Pluto, Neptune, asteroid belt. I don't know why they do that, but maybe the Nightmare Cast. There we go. Just horror games. I'm rambling, sorry. But I don't know, it's so cool because it's like you guys are part of it. Guys like me who do these shows are part of it. Everybody's part of this, and we're all together because it's a community. And I think it's just really cool. But I want to see where the community is going to take us in the years to come. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's a pretty cool topic to discuss. So let's talk about it, huh? Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for today. As you know, I'm Jason, and this is Video Game Corner. And I thank you for watching. Have a good day.